Hello, Facelandia. How you doing? Welcome. Let's just wait a second, just check in, make sure everything's working all right sound-wise. I hope you're doing fine. Then we'll just wait a second or two, just make sure everything's going all right, make sure the sound's okay, and all that good stuff. All right. Okay. Things are looking all right. Okay, good stuff. All right, well, let's get started. Oh, almost forgot. Hold on. One little technical thing. Here we go. There we go. And that should do it. And maybe I'll just check something real quick. Hold on a second. It's working fine. Awesome. Hello, how are you? Hope everything's doing fine. Hello, Joy. Nice to see you. Hello, Jenny. Nice to see you. I hope you guys are doing well. Cool. All right. Let's get started. Okay, so welcome to day 15 of our Unleash the Dragon challenge. We're halfway through. How about that? Today, I was thinking we would do Python again, but because there's so much breathing involved and so many techniques, but I kind of felt it would be better to move forward with the animals. It's good to get a well-rounded practice in, and besides, you could do Python forever. There's just so much. And it keeps popping up in the other animals, so I'll just point it out when it happens. So we're going to do tiger today, and we're going to work a little bit more with the melons. And so you'll see how the animals support each other here. So breathing techniques or breathing ideas from one animal support the movement and the breathing of another animal. So we'll see that today, and we'll do tiger today and tomorrow. All right, so let's start off. Let's do we'll go through the basic breathing, nice and succinctly. Then we'll do the boa bow, get relaxed. We'll do the python, revisit the melons, and then we'll take that into tiger. All right. And so let's get started. So standing with your feet, shoulder width apart, palms turned forward, relaxing, releasing any unnecessary tension. Let your weight sink down into your pelvis and down your legs into your feet and into the earth. And breathing in, lower back, middle back, upper back, lower torso, middle torso, upper torso. Hold the breath as you send those energies of line up to the sun to be energized and recharged. And then, when you can no longer hold your breath, exhale. Bending in the knees, contracting in the chest, head turned up until you can no longer bend your knees, and then head turns down as you exhale. Good. And breathing in, find your own pace. Lower back, middle back, upper back, lower torso, middle torso, upper torso. Hold the breath, purify the energy, and exhale. Send the energy back where it came from. And breathing in deep. Good. Cleansing breath. So 7 forced short out breaths. It's like playing a piano scale of your being. So you're exhaling. You're focusing your exhale from different centers as you go down the midline of your body. So inhaling the same way. Hold. And exhale. just take a moment, take a breath, feel how you're feeling. And next we're going to do rejuvenation breath. So we're going to do the tapping. And so again, we're going to use the tapping as a sort of ultrasound massage. Let go of the day. Whatever's been coming at you, this will help shake it off and let it go. And breathing in, tapping with your fingertips. Hold the breath, cup the palms. Exhale. One more time. Good. Take a moment, stand, feel your body. And we'll do the prana shake. So, settling down, feeling the elements of the earth. You're drawing in earth and water, fire and air. Your hands are like magnets attracting that energy to you. And one last time. And good. Standing. Feel what your body feels like. You relax. I'm just going to check the little feed and scroll here. Kat, hello. Paula, hello. Nice to see you all. Maureen, back from a long walk. This is great to do after a long walk. There we go. A little bit of hand waving here on Facebook. Nice to see you all. Hope you're doing well. Good stuff. Excellent, excellent, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. What a delight to see you all. Thanks so much for being here. All right. And as usual, I guess I haven't really said this very often, but please, if you have any questions about what we're doing, make a comment. Usually, I think I can see the cartoon bubbles scroll up, and if I see some movement there, then I'll come forward and I'll read the question out loud, or at least read it, and see if I can answer it right away. All right. Okay. So that's the basic breathing, and let's do a little bit of boa. Feel your body. So by now you should feel, you should be comfortable with associating boa with empathy and the unconscious, and finding that meditative quiet center in which you breathe into and from which your sense of empathy extends and emanates out. So feel that, get to that, and let's just touch base with the skin and touch base with the lymphatic system. So this is part of training in really any martial art. You get a basic on one thing, you get a handle on one thing, and then you migrate to another aspect of what you're practicing, and you just keep going around all the different touchstones of that practice. There's a lovely image in Aikido where we talk about polishing your practice. You keep polishing yourself. And it's kind of the same thing with the animals. I'll pay attention to the consciousness of the animal one day, and the next day I'll pay attention to the anatomical system. The next day I'll pay attention to its movement quality. And by emphasizing each one, the cultivation of the animal in its entirety, it progresses. It just grows naturally. So let's focus on the skin today and the lymphatic system. And as you're moving, you're drawing air and breath into your skin. As you're moving, you're pumping your lymphatic system, clearing the body of any waste or tension you don't need anymore. All right, and feel the skin and feel like you're breathing, like you're a big breathing bag of skin. As you fill up with breath, you inflate a little bit. As you exhale, you deflate a little bit, letting the breath go out the pores, letting the breath come in through the pores. Feel your skin all around your body. The largest organ of your body is the skin. Good. As you move, feel your lymphatic system being pumped. Good. Like little tubes, thousands of little mini toothpaste tubes just like being squeezed. Okay. And let's get into the bow. Feel like you're moving because you're breathing through your skin. And dropping down, exhaling. Press the breath out of your pores. Start to inhale. As you move, you're drawing breath into your pores, into your body, and that's what allows you to move. Stop the world. Bring it in. Let it out. Do it on a slight angle. Dropping down. Stop the world. Bring it in. Let it down. Let it out. And little resurface, little resubmerge, and dropping down. Stop the world, and bring it in, and let it down. Let it out. And stand, feel your body. Feel your presence and your awareness. Extend out in all directions like you've dropped a pebble into a lake and you're watching the ripples fan out across the surface of the lake. Good. And standing together. Come to neutral. And let's do Python. Let's take a moment. Let's focus on Python. Focus on the skeletal system. And we're going to breathe into the marrow of the bones. Breathe into the space between the joints. And then exhale from those spaces. Exhale from the marrow. Breathing in. Feel your bones in your feet, your shins, your thigh. Feel the fused bones of your pelvis. Feel the vertebra. Feel the space between the ribs and the vertebra. Feel your cervical nerve, your cervical neck, your cervical vertebra. Feel the fused bones of your skull plate. Feel the collarbones and the bones of the arms, upper arms, forearms, fingers, palms. Good. Draw breath into all of the bones. Draw breath into all of the spaces between the bones. exhale. One more time, and then we'll go into the bow. And breathing in. And exhaling. And let's go into the bow. So bending down. And breathing in. Fill up the melons one at a time. Let that raise the arms. I'll take a step back. And pack energy into the bones. And I'll do it to the side. Well, maybe on a 3/4, and dropping down. Exhale. You're coming up from the core of the earth. You're going up through all of the layers of the earth, watching time go by as you rise through the biosphere, and pack that energy into your bones. Pack the energy of all of those observations into your bones. And rebound. And release, relax. And stand. Feel the 2 triangles, soles of the feet to the groin, tips of the fingers to the top of the head. Inhale the bottom one, inhale into the top one, and then exhale the top one, exhale the bottom one as you settle down on yourself. There you go. So that's a little bit of Python, and we're going to segue from there into the tiger. Take a little time check here, and just check the scroll, the feed. Good stuff. Hello, Paula, Kat. Hello, Lisa. Nice to meet you, Lisa. Maureen, hello. Hola. And Marcia Pullen, hello. And nice to see you all. Thank you so much for being here. Great. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do, we're going to try something a little bit different camera-wise today in our studio. So I'm going to move the camera over this way for a more contrasty background. And this, I like this. Because I'm wearing a dark shirt, I didn't want to be against the dark backdrop, but it also really fits well with Tiger. Tiger is very simple, and having this blank background makes the contrasts very defined, a little bit stark, but defined. And that's Tiger likes that. So it's like really thematically appropriate. So let's do that. So I think everything's straight. We on a bit of a crooked line here. Maybe I'll just push this back a bit. There we go. And there we go. All right, I think that's straight. Maybe a touch crooked. Forgive me. Thank you so much for your patience. Okay, there we go. And yeah, we're good. Okay. So we're going to get into Tiger. Tiger's about willpower. It's about just cutting through obstacles. With Tiger, you get the word can't out of your vocabulary. And we're going to focus first on the breathing and then on the motion. We'll do a little bit of alignment, a little bit of postural awareness work first, and then we'll get into maybe the bow or maybe some moves first. We'll see how things flow, but we will do both, some new moves as well as the bow. So what I want to talk about today in terms of posture and delving deeper into Tiger is it's following up, it's building up on the melons. So we have these like 3 basic structures. They're about breathing, integrating the breathing with your movement. And so you have these 3 main structures. And for Tiger, and you focus a little bit more on the bottom one, especially when you're first starting out. And I guess just, you know, FYI, background, when we started training, we started off with what I'm about to teach you. And then it was later on that we added the more detailed Python structure with the other melons as well. That came later. The order is a little bit reversed here, but I'm trying that out. So this is a really good, fundamental, and basic exercise that you can do. It's great for your legs, your lower back, your torso. If you're a power lifter, if you do any kind of martial art or yoga, it's a really great imagery exercise. Okay, let's get into it. So again, let's start off with our hands on our hips, and we'll start just visualizing. We'll start off with the lower melon, visualizing the lower melon. And what you do, let's do what we did last time, just standing, hands on your lower back and your pubic bone, front and back. The melon extends in all directions. So it extends sideways, front and back, top and bottom. And right now we're just going to focus on front and back. So again, just a little bit, breathe into your lower back and your lower torso at the same time. Press the breath out behind you and press the belly out in front of you. And as you exhale, bring them in. And inhale. Let them fan out. And as you exhale, let them recede and contract in. Okay? And you want a light amount of tension and awareness all the way around. So it's kind of like you've got like a big rubber band all the way around, and what you're doing with your breath is you're bouncing off of the rubber bands from the inside, making them a little bit more resilient. Okay? So you're breathing in, and then exhale. And inhaling, and exhaling. Good. One more time. Inhaling. And exhaling. Good stuff. All right. Now, you can do the same thing. Let's do the same thing just briefly with the hands on the side. And breathe in deep. And feel like what you're doing with your breath is pressing the insides of your hips out. It's like you're Samson with the two pillars, and Samson is the breath, and the pillars are your hip sockets, and as you're inhaling, you're pressing the hip sockets out. And so breathing in, and exhale. As you exhale, the columns don't crash in, Samson slides down. So you inhale, you feel like the insides of your hip sockets are being pushed out, and as you exhale, you feel like your pelvis kind of got sawed off at the hip heads, at the femur heads, and the pelvis and the pubic bone are just sliding down like an elevator shaft. So you inhale, spread the pelvis apart, and as you exhale, feel the whole pelvic girdle slide down. And breathe in. And exhale. One more time. And breathing in. And exhale. Good. Okay. Now we're not going to put our hands on our groin. You could do that. But we're going to keep our hands on the side, and what we're going to do is focus on the perineum, and we're going to focus on the top part of the melon, and they'll expand out a little bit, but it's not like you're blowing into a balloon to see how far you can stretch it. Again, you're using your breath to build up the resilience of that tissue. So you have this like resilient trampoline, all of this fascia and muscle and tendons and ligaments that are like a giant tissue diaper. And as you breathe in, you breathe into it, you expand it, but just enough so that the tissue gets a challenge and wants to build up more bouncy, in a more bouncy, rubbery way. Okay? So you're going to keep your hands on your hips, and you're just going to focus on the bottom and on the top of the melon. And as you inhale, it's like you're pressing up top and bottom against the inside of a melon, of a football. And then as you exhale, the top and the bottom come a bit closer together again. Okay? So breathing in, have a little bit of tension, and like I said the other day, well, let's exhale, build up, and then as you exhale, release. We're going to inhale again. As you inhale, send energy into that bottom melon, expand, and there's a little bit of a contraction, a little bit of a tension around the anus, as though you're holding something delicate, a crystal vase or something, and you don't want to crush it by squeezing too hard. So you breathe in and exhale. Breathe in and exhale. Okay, good. So now you should have a sense of that melon all the way around. And your torso, boom, is placed like the top of the melon is just a silver platter. So your rib cage is resting on the silver platter of that bottom melon. Okay? And this is Tiger's base. And so whenever you're moving, you kind of feel like you have that, that kind of cowboy walk. Well, howdy, ma'am. Don't mind me. I'm just going to walk through your wall. You have a really stable base that you rest on. And from that stable base, your power is generated and your power presses off of that stable base, and that gives Tiger its power. Okay, now one more little thing. Let's do this from the side here. Couple of things you want to watch out for. So Tiger is really simple, so the alignment is really simple. When in doubt, it's either a straight line or it's a right angle. And when it comes to Tiger and just breathing, there are a couple of things you want to watch out for. You want your ear, I thought this might be a nice little trick, but you want your, kind of working, kind of not. You want your ear on top of your shoulders, on top of your hip socket. And you want it to be a straight plumb line. So you want to watch out for your bum popping out, and you want to watch out for your hips tucking under. I had a friend, Lee Perori, he would call this the Donald Duck, and this was the Pink Panther. And what you want to do is, if you want to check for something, you feel like you've got the broomstick and it's going through both hips. And you want your hip to be, below your shoulder, below your ear. And so you don't want the hip to be out of line, ahead of your ears. You don't want the broomstick point to be behind your ears. But what you want to do is take the broomstick and winch it. So you want your pelvis right underneath you, and you want to roll the pelvis underneath you a little bit. So it makes that arch in the lower back that Pilates, I believe Pilates likes. And of course it's great, and for dance it makes for great elegance. But in martial arts, what we try to do is flatten that a little bit more, especially when we're going for stability and coming up from under. So it's a slightly different movement theory. So you're winching, you're just like taking that broomstick and you're rotating the broomstick. You don't want the broomstick to slide forward, and you don't want the broomstick to slide back. Okay? So so you rotate the broomstick, and the reason why you're doing this is to facilitate the breathing into the melon. So if you do the melon correctly, that's what should happen. If you're having trouble with the melon, do this, the breath will come along. So you can get there from the point of view of the breath, or you can get there from the point of view of the movement. Like that theme we talked about yesterday for Python. Okay, so is there anything else? So I wanted to talk about those basics of posture. Let's talk a little bit more about basic tiger alignment. Straight, straight, straight. So you can think in terms of your bones. You want the knee making a straight line with the shin bones, making a straight line for the space between the big toe, whoops, I guess this way, between the big toe and the first toe on your foot, the equivalent of that space here. Sorry, I don't know if you can see that. So anyway, if you follow your big toe and you follow your second toe, and where they meet, you want your knee and your shin bones drawing a line straight to that point where your big toe and your second toe meet. And you want as much as possible for your knees not to extend past your toes. So right now my knee is like above my foot, above my toes, and if I was, bending my knees and my knees were going really forward, my knee would be past my foot. If I drew up a straight plumb line, straight down, you would see that the force of my knee wasn't falling on my foot, it would be wanting to fall on the floor. And so you want to try and pull, and again, you use that lower Ming Men. It's not just that you pull your knee in, but you deeply contract in your abs to pull your shin bone back a little bit, so that the angle of the shin bone is the same angle as your torso. Tiger likes things simple. Spine, shin bones into your feet, thighs on top of your knees, kind of have like a Roman arch. The pelvis is like a keystone. And then on top of that, your spine is straight. And the arms just hang down by the side. The back, you have a string pulling you up by the back of the head, and two little guide wires underneath the brow of your eyes, pulling your head straight up. So you're standing at attention. The hands relax down, and you feel the armpits, the cups of the armpits, and you deepen them as much as you can. So I have other friends who teach martial arts. They talk about squeezing a banana, or you have an egg and you squash the egg. And our image is a cup, a deep cup in the armpit, and deepening the cup of the armpit. And that gets the lats, the big muscles of your back, and connects your lats to your structure. Okay. So that's the alignment for tiger. And so you have all those straight lines, you feel the lower melon, the keystone arch of the pelvis is pressing down into the ground, your torso is on top of that keystone arch, and your arms are extending down, and at the same time, the back of your head and the guide wires under the brows of your eyes are being pulled straight up towards the sky. Okay? And then what you do is you just walk around like that all day long. It's very meditative. People think you're enlightened. It's just so easy. Okay, so that's how that works. All right, so let's do the bow first. So feel that. So land on top of your feet. You're settling your weight into the ground. Your spine is straight. The back of your head, underneath the brow of the eye, is being pulled up. Everything from the belly button down is being pushed into the ground. Everything from the belly button up is lifting up. That's a little bit of dance theory, but anyway, we'll talk more martial later. But everything from the belly button down is going down. Everything from the belly button up is lifting up. And you have the armpits that you're deepening as much as you can. And now we're going to do the tiger bow. Okay? So, feel the melon in the belly. And we're going to breathe into it a little bit. Breathe into it front and back. When I breathe into it into the back, I feel, especially then, I feel the rolling of the broomstick. I keep my broomstick below me, but I rotate it. And I'm settling down. Breathing in. And exhaling. Okay. Now, let's have a little bit more of a tiger attitude as we're doing this. So, as I'm doing this, I'm pressing air into the melon, and it's like a really tight balloon. And so I have to like really push air into it to make it expand a little bit. I'm not contracting the muscles hard, but just overall, there's a bit of tension that I'm pushing into. And what that does is it turns my body into a bit more of a pressure cooker. So I'm building up energy down in here, yes, but I'm also feeling like my entire body is like a pressure cooker, and the lid of the pressure cooker are all of my primary mirror muscles, all the big yang muscles. Pressing down on that pressure, pressing down on that energy I'm drawing up, and as the pressure increases, the warmth increases. And I'm generating more and more warmth in the center of my belly. Welcome to my world. This is how Tiger starts the day. Before you do anything with Tiger, you find that pressure cooker. So you're building up. And as I exhale, I condense the energy and the pressure and build up. Good. One more time. As I'm exhaling, as I've inhaled, I'm bringing in energy. It's filling me up. There's already a pressure cooker pressure. I'm building up heat. Then as I exhale, I condense that accrued energy into my belly, towards my belly. Good. Okay. And then I feel like this inflated Michelin Man of just solar fusion, solar core fusion happening. And now I'm going to lay the bow on top of that. The bow becomes an expression of that. We're going to do something else. We're going to do a couple of sets of the bow, and I'll introduce something else on the second set. But let's start with this. Feel that core in your belly. And ready? And inhale, right into the belly. Inhale, right into the heart and belly. And as you exhale, press it out. Build that pressure cooker of energy. One more time. Breathe in. Turn the feet out. Breathe into your belly. Fill up your whole body with breath. Feel that pressure cooker. You're starting to build up the tension throughout your whole body. Then inhale again. And then turn the feet in. And I feel all of my musculature, especially the yang, the big muscles of my yang skin, act like a lid. And it's compressing in. As I'm pushing my breath out, my breath is coming up in one direction, and the pressure cooker is pressing in the other. One more time. Fill up, super fill, then start to push the breath out as the pressure cooker presses back down, keeping the melon filled up. One more time. more time. Good. Triangle the belly, fill up the melon. Flip the triangle, turn the feet in. And stand. Great. So what you do, if you want the ultimate security system, you videotape yourself doing that, and then you play it on a screen on a loop outside your door. Nobody will ever mess with you again. Yeah, not happening. All right, so that's tiger. Now I'm going to add one more little element. We've started with the melon at the base, and we played with Python. We played with the melon, with the three melons, one down here, one up here, one a bit higher. Now this was one of the earlier techniques. This is more beginner, so I'm kind of doing things a little bit out of sequence a little bit. But what we're going to do is we're going to breathe into the melon at the bottom, and what we're going to do is we're going to roll that bottom melon up as we exhale. Okay? So when we inhale, just breathe right into it, but as we exhale, roll it up. And I'm going to mention one more thing. I'll hit it later, but I wanted to mention it earlier. I forgot. But you know that whole thing with the broomstick? Well, you have the melon, and another way of thinking about what you're doing with that broomstick is that the melon is spinning on its axis. It's going down the back, and it's coming up the front. Okay? And so you have this circulation of energy going in this direction. Down the back, up the front, and around. Okay? And that's perpetually moving. So as you're exhaling, you're bringing the melon up while it's spinning. And that has a whole, like if you work and play with that visualization, it does wonders for engaging your deep abdominal core stabilizers and anchoring your arms to the power of your core and to your legs. So that's the role that it plays. If it's too much, don't worry about it. Among the people who are watching this, there's a range of experience. So it's probably more suitable for people who have a little bit more experience with movement. And so I hope you find this interesting. I'm looking at you, Jen and Val. Okay, so don't worry too much about the melon spinning and so on, but let's focus on raising the melon up. Okay? All right, so we're going to breathe into the melon. Feel it front and back, side, up and down. Inhale, breathe some more. Now we're going to exhale, we're going to turn the feet in, and as we're exhaling, we're rolling the melon up the body. One more time. Good. And breathe into your belly, into the lower melon, and then flip the triangle, roll the melon up to your heart. Up to your collarbones, and then out. On the exhale. And then stand and feel what your body feels like. Well, I don't know about you, but that was fun. Okay, so so that's the bow. Let's do a few tiger moves. Perhaps the funnest move is the first move in most of the forms. And I have a dear friend of mine who has a lovely expression. Martial artists startle down. So, you know, most people when they get scared, it's like, ah! And the reflex that you train yourself to, in martial arts, but really anybody who's effective with stress, you connect to the earth. You startle down. Wait, what? Right? It's that kind of reflex. And that's what we're practicing with Tiger. So it just jumps right in, it plunges right in with both feet into any situation. And it's ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the first move for Tiger, which looks like this. And I'm still undecided. Do I want to do a punch? Or do we want to do wrist form? Let me know. We'll figure it out. But I'm edging towards the punch. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the claw down, the drop and the claw down. And it's just great. And it's one of those moves, again, videotape yourself and play it on a loop outside your door. And again, nobody will ever mess with you. All right, so standing, feeling your body. And what we're going to do is we're going to slightly bend in the knees. And the way that I describe this, you know, when you have on racing bikes, you have to like unclip your feet off the pedal. Well, we're doing that. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop down, but what we want to avoid is hopping up to get our legs apart. And what we're going to do is slightly lift the heel off the ground as though you're unclipping your foot off that pedal. And that gives you a little bit of space in the knees, and it allows the pelvis to drop straight down. It gives a little space in the knees. There's less friction at the sole of your feet. Let me just point this down a bit. There we go, it's a bit better, I hope. That might be too much, whatever. Okay, no, that's good. All right, so you're there. So you slightly bend in the knees. You sort of slightly unclip the heel from the pedal. And that gives you just enough space that you can let your tailbone drop. Again, that melon spinning in this way. And drop and sit down on a throne with your spine as straight as you can, straight up. Okay? So we want to avoid this. And we want to have just straight drop. It's like one of those pile drivers. The moment you breathe, the moment you have a reflex, it's a reflex to drop straight down. And the way that you do it is not by contracting up. It's not by locking your knees as your heels come up, but it's by bending in the knees as the heels come up. So you have that unclip of the bike. All right? And let's just do that. So you're there, you're standing, and only go as low as you need to, or as low as feels good. And you unclip and you drop. One more time. Sound effects are crucial. And good. And good. All right, so you have a sense of that dropping straight down. At the same time as you're doing that, your hands are coming up the midline of your body and you're spearing the sky. Yeah, do it a bit lower here. So your hands, they sort of like curl and screwdriver up. So they curl and screwdriver up. So it's like, I don't know, you're catching a loaf of bread and then you're spearing your fingertips forward. Okay? So cup a little bit and then spear in a corkscrew kind of way. All right? Now, I don't have much camera range here, so I'm going straight forward. But when you do the drop, you're reaching up for the sky. Okay? So what you're doing when you drop is you straddle and ground the earth, and you reach up for the fire of the sun. And as you exhale, you're forcibly bringing down and pulling down the energy of the sun as you forcibly draw up the energy of the earth. And they meet, guess where? In the belly, in the area of the lower melon. So this all looks still and static, but I'm actually drawing up a lot of energy up through the legs. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it together a few times, just the moves. And unclip, hands, spear up. Good. And unclip the feet, hands, spear up. Good. And unclip the feet as the hands spear up. And unclip the feet, drop straight down like a pile driver as the hands spear up. One more time. And unclip the feet, hands spear up. Good. The breathing. So it's like the bow. It's like the bow. You're breathing in and filling up your whole body with breath in one shot. And as you bring air into you, it comes in, it lands in the bottom melon, and boom, drops your body. So you're dropping because you're inhaling so quickly. Okay? And you can find corollaries, you can find the similar kind of idea in other systems. Right, okay. Where you're bringing in energy forcibly. You're giving yourself power. Okay? This is tiger. All right, so a little bit. Yeah, I got it. Okay, good. And so you're standing. We're going to unclip the feet. We're going to pierce with our hands, and we're going to draw in breath. When we draw in the breath, it all happens in one shot. And yeah, the breath ideally is the leader, and it's when the breath comes in, it drops your weight straight down like a pile driver into the ground. Okay? Let's build slowly. And good. And good. And good. One more time. And good. Excellent. All right? 4 or 5 reps. Do some more if you want. It's fun. We got time. Okay. And now we've done the first part, the drop, and now we're going to do the claw down. You are a tiger in the jungle. You are marking your territory. You are finding the largest tree you can, and you are clawing it down. You are dredging the bark. Okay? You are leaving your mark. And it's as if you're pulling down on a cable machine that's just really heavy, trying to bring that whole weight down as you're trying to bring, like you've got like cables attached to horses and you're trying to pull the horses in with your legs. All right? So it's tiger, it's high tension. So you're moving with resistance in every direction. Let's do it. Ready? And good. Come up to a stand. One more time. And good. And up. Let's do it one more time. I'll give you more details about the arms. And good. All right. So again, tiger is really simple. Straight lines or 90-degree angles. So when you drop down, You're seated on your throne, straight up and down, and your hands are mostly going up. As you claw, the weight is in your elbows. So it's your elbows that are heavy and sinking down to the ground. The wrists flex as the elbows come down. So there's an invisible wall here. Look, I'm a mime. And there's an invisible wall here, and your fingers are clawing down the blackboard wall in front of you. Okay? So they don't do this. They do that. Okay? All right, let's try. And feel your body. And breath, feet unclip, arms spear, high tension down. Pulling down at the elbows. Ready? And one more time. And good. You'll notice that when I get to the end of my breath, it's just like the basic breathing and just like the tiger bow, I spit out the last drop of breath. Okay? Let's do it one more time. And do what feels appropriate for yourself. So, if you don't want to, don't go there. Feel your body. And drop. Good. All right. Okay, let me just check the time here, and let's check to see if there's anything on the feed. Cool. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, it is powerful. It is a really powerful way of breathing. Okay, and so I think that's a lot. Let's finish off with the tiger bow and the boa bow. And you'll be able to contrast the intensity of these two opposing animals that go on to create their own dragon, the earth dragon. So let's do the bow for tiger. Feel the linear power. Feel the powerful, willful mantle of its musculature. The ferocity of its courageous, burning heart. The driving, fiery bulldozer of its physical body. And the katana-edged sword of its linear cutting mind. And one more time. And triangle the belly. And flip. Good. And stand. Feel the mantle of the tiger standing at attention. And release tiger. And release and soften into boa. And more time. Good. And standing. Soften. And feel the distance, the difference between the tiger on one end of the spectrum and the boa on the other. And you are both. You're the whole distance. And release the boa. And perhaps you notice that, when you're doing boa, you breathe in, you're filling up with breath, you're curling up, and you may have done the melon with the boa, and you'd be right. So this is one of those areas where there's overlap between the animals. They use some of the same mechanics, but in slightly different ways for slightly different purposes, or very different ways for very different purposes. And here, the tiger and the boa, you have the melon like low down in your body, and you bring it up. And so with the boa, I'm dropping down, and I'm focusing my energy on the melon at the bottom, and I breathe into the melon at the bottom, and then I roll that melon up. And when the melon reaches up here, I'm hugging the world, and then I exhale. I don't know, it feels kind of like I inhale one big melon, and then I exhale with another melon coming up. Yeah, it should be rolling down. Yeah, there you go. There we go. So it rolls up on the in-breath, and then it rolls down on the out-breath. And that's the breathing mechanism that drives the action of the arms and provides the arms with a loose but powerful quality. So Joy was, we were chatting a little bit earlier, when you do the python bow, for example, you're breathing into each of the melons, and that's what raises the arms up. And it's the same thing with boa. You're breathing into a melon, you're breathing into each of the melons, or you're taking one melon and you're rolling it up, and that's what moves the arms. And so just doing that practice will give you an entirely different body. All right, so that was a lot, and we'll review the tiger again tomorrow. We'll build on what we did today, and we'll add a little bit more motion with the drop down. And so I hope that you have a really strong sense that action for tiger is just like a really great key into the ignition of your engine for tiger, and it's just like a great way to drop into tiger. It's just so archetypal. So I hope you enjoyed that. All right, so thank you so much for being here today. We'll bow out. And I'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same channel. Thanks so much, everybody, for being here today. Bye for now. Be well, be healthy, be safe. Bye for now.